Hi.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
I've been a youth counsellor for about 1.5 years now. I've been passionate about nature all my life, and I grew up next to the ocean, so I have really been immersed in that nature and marine environment, and it's really sparked that passion for me to be enthusiastic about protecting what we have here on planet Earth and how we can conserve our nature and biodiversity.
Creating safe, accessible and fun spaces where people can come together to share their knowledge and their experiences, art, music and the ways by which we connect to the land, so through foraging, folklore, farming, all the lovely nourishing things, creating space to talk about mental health within conservation, as that's something I think is so important, especially for young people.
I'm passionate about all things climate, all things nature, all things history and UK politics, and I sew and do embroidering on the side as well. So I'm in a very lucky position where I was able to access all of that.
Community conservation, protecting our wetlands and waterways, and increasing access to conservation for people from marginalised and disadvantaged backgrounds. During my time as a youth counsellor, I'd like to try and make some changes in these areas and others that are also important.
I first became interested in nature when I came out here into my garden and saw all the fantastic house sparrows, goldfinches, greenfinches, blue tits and grey tits. I wanted to make a difference for all of that wildlife, so I joined the RSPB, and there I learned so much about local nature on my doorstep and about nature and ornithology in general.
I really love the fact that each and every individual species contributes in its own really unique way to the survival of our global ecosystem.
More recently, I started to realise just how precious what we have in the UK is and how desperately we need to fight for what we have.
I'm super passionate about all things digital and media, and that's sort of where my hopes lie really, in terms of sort of pushing things further for social media, digital, Welsh language as well.
My hopes for the future are really to encourage green innovation and entrepreneurship, particularly in young people, and open the pathways to sustainable finance.
I would like to continue studying and look at the relationship between sound and the environment to find new ways to protect our planet and our ecosystems, whilst also exploring the potential that music and nature have to improve people's lives and bring people together.
I hope that life can get less focused on materialism and economic growth and instead focus on fixing inequalities and realising the environment is like a very important part of being a human being.
I hope that we will live more in tune with nature rather than against it. After all, we are nature. I'm hoping that our lives will be rewilded in sort of every which way that can mean, whether that's living more in season, farming sustainable.
I'd like to see people acting with more integrity, as I think the sort of definition and ideas behind this word would solve a lot, if not all, of the problems that we experience today.
It's just for this mess to be sorted out. I like that word. For this mess to be sorted out. Just harmony between people and people and people and nature.
I really think if we work together, we can find these amazing creative solutions, these nature-based solutions that can solve so many of these world's problems.
Advice I'd give to young people is to find your local group. The way to expand your world is through other people 100%. And whatever you enjoy, painting, coding, writing, dancing, welding, it's not incompatible with helping nature. Like, you don't have to go into conservation. And in fact, society needs to, like every part of society needs to have nature integrated into it.
I'd say partly just to do what I'm doing today, being out in nature. I'm out here with my camera, hoping to film some herons, and there's one behind me here.
Find your place and to very much own it, to be confident and to take up space and to use your voice and to be the loudest and most confident version of yourself.
I would 100% recommend getting involved. There's nothing quite like joining a community of like-minded, passionate young people dedicated to fighting for nature and saving the planet.
Sharing your passion with others and focusing on the really hopeful, positive changes that are all around us is absolutely vital.
Reach out to as many people as possible. People are much more willing to help than you think, and that's the core reason I'm here today.
There's so much negative things going around, but we just need to think together. And when we start to see this collaboration between people, organisations and governments, I think that's when we will see the biggest change. But for now, I think it's also important that we just take those little sustainable actions. You know, every little helps.
Just do what you love. There's so many things, oh, do this, but do that. And like, there's so many different avenues you can get into in the environmental sector. And I think whichever one tickles your fancy, you should go for that. Like, I really want to get into practical conservation, but I know there's some people who want to get into policy and social media and campaigns and all sorts of things. So find what you love and get on with it.